everyone, thank you so much for watching. I am so glad that you're here back on my channel. Today for you I have a fly. What is up with the insects in my videos? It is November. How are you alive? Anyway, thank you so much for coming back. I am super excited for today's video. We have 4 items to put on your tiered tray. So they're smaller items and they're all pretty different and using really cheap stuff that you can either get from Walmart or the Dollar Tree. So if that is interesting to you, I hope that you will please keep watching. So for this first project, I am taking some of the Jenga pieces from the Dollar Tree. They have a little Jenga game. It's like a miniature one. It's super small, but the little wooden Jenga pieces are so perfect to do a bunch of tiny little crafts. So I'm going to be making a Merry Christmas sign out of these. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just taking wood glue and gluing it all together. I kind of used my fingers to spread it out just to make it nice and even, and then I used painter's tape to kind of hold it in place. And here I am sanding it just to make sure that there's no bumps on the top, and I'm painting it with burnt umber, and I'm just putting a little bit of water on my brush every time I go back and dip in. I just get a little bit more water so that it's more like a stain and less opaque. I like doing it this way a little bit more than mixing the paint and the water together in a cup. I just feel like I'm able to control the flow of the paint a little bit more this way. And on this next step, I kind of lost some of the footage of me drawing this out or writing this out. So you're going to get just a little bit of that footage, but it does say Merry Christmas. And here I am just taking some twine that we have. I think my husband got it from like Home Depot or something. It's not like the crafter's twine, it's like legit stuff that you can use. And now I'm just going in with this paint marker, and I'm just adding a little bit of detail to the Merry Christmas words just to make it stand out and pop a little bit. And I also colored that little holly berry in the corner. Just wanted to add a little bit more character to it. And that is it. I really love how this one turned out. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and apologize ahead of time for the filming on this one. It was just not in frame 90% of the time, but I'm hoping that you'll get like the gist of it. You can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm just wrapping the yarn around the edge of this star. I made this star out of popsicle sticks. I literally just made it like you would, you know how you like draw a star out, keeping your pencil on the paper the whole time. You know what I'm talking about. I just made it like that. I thought it was easier to make it that way, and I didn't want it to be very big. So I'm literally just taking this white yarn. It's from Walmart. I'm not sure on the color, but it's like a cream white, and it's from the Red Heart brand. And I'm just wrapping it around this popsicle stick star. I'm wrapping it on all of the corners pretty neatly, and then I'm going to go in the middle of the star, and you'll see that here in just a second. I'm going to kind of make a star inside the star. I thought that kind of looked cool, of just wrapping it around in that star shape. And I do this several times. I just kind of go back and keep wrapping it in that design just to kind of cover up some of the popsicle sticks, but also just make it look interesting and different. And once I like how it looks, I stop and I go ahead and wrap around my yarn on the other ends of the star. And I did go back and kind of make them look a little bit more messy. For this project, I'm going to be using some wrapping paper. I love using wrapping paper and Mod Podge to put on different signs. I just love how it turns out, and I just think it's so easy. I'm going to be using the same trick that I used last time. I just love the way that it turns out. It's really good to use when you're wanting a clean edge, and I really like it. So I applied Mod Podge to all of the edges and put the wrapping paper on there, and now I'm just taking my sandpaper, I'm not sure what grit it is, it's probably 100 something, and I'm just going on the edges and getting those off. It was kind of difficult with these holly berries in the way, so this was a project that I had already done. I had redone it, and I actually didn't like how it turned out in the end, so I decided to scrap it and just take off the things that I had put on there, and I redid it. So I'm liking how this one turned out a lot better. I'm just, after I sanded down those edges, I'm just going in with more Mod Podge just to seal it all in and make sure it stays on nice. And I am freehanding this hot cocoa on this sign. I'm just using, I think it's a Craft Smart Painter's marker. Is that what they're called? Paint marker. I don't know, guys. I need more sleep. I am just using that, and I don't love this one. It is a little old, but as you can see, I'm like struggling to get it to come out nice and smooth. I tried shaking it a little bit and then pushing on the tip, and that helped, but then it like came out really fast, and it was just kind of a headache. Next time, what I think I might do instead is just use my Cricut to cut it out and put it on there. It's just a little bit easier, but I really wanted to make this sign with my own handwriting, just to make it look a little bit more cute. I don't know. This is the final project. I really love how this one turned out. I've seen a bunch of these Christmas trees, these felt Christmas trees with like the stuffing on the stand, and I just had to make one myself because I knew I totally could. So I'm just taking some felt. You can get this anywhere pretty much, and it's usually super cheap, like 25 cents to 50 cents. It just depends on where you get it. I just traced it out on the folded edge and then cut it out and made a stencil out of it and cut the other side, and now I'm just layering them on top of each other. And I do not recommend cutting this stick the way that I did. It was quite dangerous, and I'm surprised I didn't impale myself, but hey, I got it done. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. I went ahead and glued the edges. I had a different plan for this. I was going to use my painter's marker to draw on the stitches myself, and you will see that I quickly changed my mind on that because it just did not work out how I wanted. I am just taking some polyfill here and just stuffing it in there. Kind of had to use my stick to kind of get it in the very top. I wanted it to be fluffy but not too fluffy, and I kind of had to go in and glue around all of the edges again just to make sure it was really in there and closed up. And here I am going to attempt to sew this through the glued edges, which was quite difficult, and I eventually changed my technique on the stitches like halfway through. I finally realized there was an easier way. So the back of this project is not beautiful, guys. It doesn't look great, but hey, it's done, and now I know for the next time if I want to make another one, I know to do it a little different. So this time I'm going and punching through the hole on both sides, if that instead of like going through both pieces of fabric, I'm just going through the top piece of felt, and you can see what I'm doing, right? Like you get what I'm doing. This was so much easier and way faster. So I would suggest you just start with that method instead of like going up and through, and I don't know, it was just too hard. I tied off the ends and glued it just so that it would stay, and here I'm taking more of those Jenga pieces and applying some wood glue. I just let that sit for a while. I wrapped it in painter's tape again. That just kind of holds it together. I have clamps, but not tiny little ones for stuff like this, so I let that sit, and then after that was dry, I sanded it down a little bit, and then I took more wood glue. This was kind of hard to get this stick on this stand. I tried hot gluing it and it would not stay, so I decided to just use the wood glue, and it ended up working out great. I just kind of had to finagle it a little bit and use that painter's tape to kind of support it while it dried. That's it for today's video. Thank you again for watching. If you guys haven't subscribed already, please do. It really helps me out a lot, helps me to be seen a little bit more, and also like this video. I would love it if you commented below which of the decor items was your favorite. I personally really loved how the tree turned out. If you do end up trying to make any of these DIYs, I would love it if you tagged me on Instagram. I am at Miss Doodle D. If you try them out, let me know, tag me so that I can see them, and I would love to share them on my page. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching again.